Hey guys, Blade here, bringing another Pokemon TCG online deck profile. And today we're bringing you an updated version of my Manectic Garbador deck. So let's just jump straight into the deck profile. It's still pretty straightforward, but there's been some major changes that I've done to the deck. So that's why we're basically re-updating it. So now we're running one Shaman EX with setup because you can still use it even if you have Wobbuffet and Garbador in the deck. You just gotta make sure they aren't up. It's basically an early game card when you don't have Wobbuffet or Garbodor up, and you just get to draw like 3 or 4 cards, and it's just really helpful, makes the deck a little bit more consistent. If you run any more, has a tendency to get cloggy, so we just run the one, and if it's prized, it really doesn't hurt the deck too much. Then we're running 4 Manectric. Assault Laser is a great attack, Overrun kills Zubats, stuff like that, so Manectric just overall a great attacker. Then we're only running 3 Mega Manectric, and this is because I feel like any more than 3 becomes cloggy in the deck itself. So that's why I chose to run a 4-3 line. Plus, Manectric EX is a great attacker on its own, and Mega Manectric just powers everything up and gets us going really quick. And turn 2, turn 3, we can have all of our Manectric set up if we really, really needed it. So that's why we're running just a 3 Manectric. Mega Manectric, that is. Then, of course, we are running 1 Hoopa EX. Hoopa is still good in this deck. It gets through Wobbuffet's abilities, so Hoopa's surprisingly good. It allows us to grab Manectric, Mega Manectric, Shaman, stuff like that. So Scoundrel Ring is just really, really strong. And we do run Parallel City in the deck, so we can always discard him off our bench so he doesn't become a liability either in that case. Then we're running 2 Trubbish. It really doesn't matter what Trubbish you run, as long as you run 2 of them, higher HP preferable, that's all. Then we're running 2 Garbodor with Garbotoxin. We just shut down all the abilities, stuff like that, and it's basically like having Hex Maniac up 24/7, which is just super strong, so that's why we're running it. And we do run Flowstones to go with it, so this guy becomes really, really strong. Then we are running 2 Wobbuffet, just in case if we open Wobbuffet, it becomes an instant ability lock, except against bats usually, and it just becomes such a big hassle for our opponent to play around. So plus we run Floatstone, so we can always retreat it for free. We don't have to worry about attaching 2 energies to it, so Wobbuffet's just great in this deck. So on to the trader cards. We're running 2 Battle Compressor because Battle Compressor is just that good. Battle Compressor is amazing at the moment, and I feel like it's super duper strong, so that's why we're running 2 of them. Then we're running 1 Computer Search. Computer Search is probably just the best ace spec overall in Expanded, and I feel like if you're not running Computer Search, you're either running Sableye Garbodor, and you need the Life Dew, or there's something wrong, because I think Computer Search is running almost every deck. So yeah, then we're running 4 Trainers Mail. This just helps with consistency, getting ends, sycamores, stuff like that, Spirit Links, Floatstones when we need them. So Trainers Mail is top notch in this deck. Then we are running 4 Ultra Ball because Ultra Ball is amazing. Ultra Ball is super good in this deck, and if you're really not running Ultra Ball, it makes it really, really hard to get things done in this deck. Then we are running 4 VS Seeker because VS Seeker is just super duper strong, and it just gets everything done really, really quick, and we're able to grab Chorus, Getsis, all that stuff really quick, and we're able to abuse Getsis so much, and I feel like Getsis is such a strong card in the format at the moment. So jumping into our supporter line, we're running 1 Chorus because we run Parallel City, so sometimes we limit our bench to 3, so that's why we're only running the 1 Chorus. Drawing 8 is still really good, so there's no reason to not run a Chorus at least. Then we are running 1 Getsis. Getsis is just super duper strong at the moment. I feel like it's probably one of the strongest supporters if you get it early game. You can really mess up some deck starts that really like to rely on Ultra Ball and stuff like that. Night March, Seismitoad, all those decks really don't like versing a Getsis early on if they don't draw a supporter or if they can't Shaman right away. So Getsis gets in there and destroys all that setup that they could potentially have turn 1, and then we can just sit there behind our Wobbuffet and say you can't Shaman, you can't do all this stuff to speed up your deck because you just won't have the resources to, and yeah, Getsis just really, really hurts from the start, so that's why we're running the 1 Getsis. Then we are running 1 Lysandre. Lysandre is only really needed at 1 because we can always VS Secret it back, plus the only thing we can really Lysandre and probably get KOs on are things that are weak to electric, so basically Shaman, and if they don't bench many of them, it becomes pretty useless in a dead card overall, so that's why we're only running the one Shaman. Then we're running 4 N, because N is probably one of the best cards ever made, and I'm never going to cut this card from any deck in Expanded, because it's just too good. It either punishes your opponent, or greatly benefits you, depending on what time you play it, so yeah, N is just super, super, duper, duper strong, so that's why we run 4 of them. Then we're running 4 Sycamore. You could run Juniper, it doesn't matter, I just had 4 Sycamore. It's just a consistency card, so that's why we run 4 Sycamore. Then we're running 3 Parallel City. Now, we run the Parallel City because if we verse Vespiquen or Seismitoad, it really helps the matchup. And then if we verse things like Rayquaza and stuff like that, it also really helps the matchup because we limit the bench phase to 3 instead of 8. And after they put down a whole lot of Pokemon in your Parallel City, it really, really hurts the amount of Pokemon that they can actually put back down onto the bench, unless if they're running Sacred Ash, which a lot of people don't because they prefer to run, whatchamacallit, that one card that allows you to put 3 Pokemon back onto the bench. I can't remember the name of it, but I know it's there. So yeah, Sacred Ash isn't played nearly as much versus the other thing at the moment. So that's why we also run Parallel City. And because who doesn't like making Seismitoad only hit for 30 damage, 10 if he doesn't have a Muscle Band, which is just absolutely amazing. You can destroy Seismitoad that way with a Cell Laser and stuff like that. So Parallel City's top notch. We cut Rough Seas from the decks completely because we focus on more controlling the board instead of out sustaining our opponent to get the game wins now. So that's why we're running the Parallel Cities over Rough Seas. Now we are running 3 Floatstone because Floatstone is super good in this deck. It allows us to get Garbador's Garbotoxin going, retreat the Wobbuffets. If we have to avoid a Headringer, we can attach one to the Manectrics, though we prefer not to because it already has free retreat. We can attach it to the Shaman and Hoopa if we lead them, so Floatstone's just absolutely amazing in this deck. Then, of course, we're running 3 Spirit Link to go with our 3 Mega Manectric. We want to be able to evolve the same turn. That and attack is what I mean, evolve and attack in the same turn. So yeah, that's why we kind of are forced to run the Spirit Links. Then for energy, we are running 7 Electric and 3 Psychic energy. This is mostly just for Wobbuffet, the 3 Psychic, because you can hit something and then have to kill it off with Wobbuffet, and it's not bad because you trade 2 prizes for 1 prize in theory, and it becomes profitable, but that way if you can continually do it, plus you shut down their abilities with Wobbuffet being active, so the play is always there, and it's always very useful to have just in case. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this deck profile. If you guys liked it, give me a thumbs up button down below. If you guys really, really, really liked it, go over, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.